Hello, everybody. My guest today is Jeremy Bieger. He's the CEO. He's a serial entrepreneur with a calling to build enterprise marketing software. Today, he's the co-founder and CEO of Pulse Insights, which uses innovative technology to help enterprises understand customer needs and to efficiently collect user information to deliver richly personalized experiences. Before this, he founded Uber Tags, which was a tag management system and analytics tags on websites. He sold that company in 2013 and then stayed on to lead client management and product management teams. Before that, he was managing digital experiences at American Express. Jeremy, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, sure.
All right, man. So let's jump in here. Pulse Insights, what's it doing? What's your business model? How do you make money?
All right, sure. So we're subscription software for enterprises. We work with large enterprise marketers like Sony, Johnson & Johnson, Visa, Comcast, Verizon, et cetera.
Got it.
And go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so you're talking like enterprise sales. I mean, are these guys, can you give us kind of an average range contract-wise? You're talking like $100,000 a year, $1 million a year, $10 million a year?
Thereabouts, around $100K a year.
I was going to say, that was a big range. So it has to be one of those. Okay, so about $100,000 a year. And what do you do for them?
All right, so we help them understand what their customers really want and need in a way that is extremely actionable. They can get massive amounts of customer feedback on any question on their mind. And within a couple of days or weeks, they get thousands of responses. And so they could test anything from pricing of a new product or getting feedback on a product roadmap or helping to solve user experience issues.
And how are you doing that? What audience are you putting their thing in front of to get the feedback?
That's great. Great question. So we use owned channels for the most part, like app, website, including mobile site and email. And what we've built is a unique way to ask questions of users without interrupting what they were originally there to do. So often our technology allows us to insert one or two questions inside of another experience and word it in such a way that users feel like they're giving feedback that will be used because it will.
So give me an example. I'm in my inbox right now. American Express wants to ask me a question. They're using you. What will I see in my inbox?
So you might see if you just canceled a product sometime in the last year, you might see a question that says, hey, we noticed you canceled so-and-so product in the last year. Could you tell us why? And there might be 3 or 4 options. And with one click as a secondary message, Amex would get thousands of responses knowing why people have canceled a certain product. And
this is an email, though, that American Express is sending?
Yeah, it could be an email as a secondary message, or it could be when somebody logs into their site, or it could be when somebody uses the app.
Okay. Jeremy, everyone listening where I was thinking, I never actually do those things, right? So do you just send out so much volume that you send out 10 million, of course, 1,000 are going to do it?
No. So this is the key difference.
I'm skeptical, by the way. Convince me here.
Yeah. Okay. So approximately about 0.5% is the industry average of those type of survey responses. Minuscule, sometimes even lower than that. Some people will fudge the denominator because it's even worse than that. We will often see results that are 10% plus or higher.
Why?
And the reason why, it's the intersection of 3 things. One is the way that we ask. By the way we put one question in the experience, where you don't have to go somewhere else, you don't have to answer it later, you don't have to be worried that you're going to be taking a long survey. It's just 1 or 2 questions, right, in the experience. The second thing is about targeting. We have really advanced targeting so that we're only asking the right people on the right pages in the right moment. And the third thing is asking in a way that people want to answer. Our belief is that people want to share, but it's just been so onerous in the past to actually collect that data, and it's not asked in a way that people actually want to answer or believe there's a payoff if they do answer. And when all those 3 things align,
do you incentivize them?
No.
So what's the payoff?
The payoff is that the company will use that information to create better decisions for people like the person that answered.
But what's the payoff for the person that answered, though? They already canceled. You're saying they're going to give them like some discounted deal to reactivate or something?
Well, in that example, maybe there would be a coupon or something that later the company uses, but there's never a direct incentive. The idea is just tell us what's on your mind so that we can be a better company for you.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I kind of believe you. So we'll keep moving forward. When did you launch the company?
All right. So we built the product in 2013, and we've been launching it as we've been in market since 2014.
Okay. And have you bootstrapped this thing or raised?
100% bootstrapped.
I love
That's
that.
one of the things we're very proud of.
I love that. When did you, where is the team based and how big is it?
Okay, so we are all over the world. We have our development team in Tokyo. The three co-founders of Pulse Insights are in New York, Boston, and Salt Lake City. We have client success in Canada, UK, and Greece. So we've been a remote team. We get together at least once a year as a group, but we've remote team since day one.
How many people?
We're about 12 people.
12 people. Okay, so let me ask you. I love this. So when you spend company money to do that one team retreat each year, I mean, that's got to be a pretty big bill, right? I mean, it's pushing like 10, 20, 30 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's worth it, right?
Yeah. So I mean, the co-founders get together at least every 6 weeks. And then the whole team, once a year. And it's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's nothing. I mean, we work as well as one could work, remotely, and we really do make it work. But when you're together, there's nothing like that.
No, listen, I'm a huge fan of this model. I'm trying to figure it out myself with these companies that I'm buying, because I just hate the idea of checking into an office every morning. I mean, you can't see this right now, but I'm not wearing any pants, right? I don't want to be checking in. Okay, good. So what have you grown customers to? How many customers do you work with?
So we don't disclose the number of customers.
Okay, but I mean, are we talking like hundreds or tens or thousands? Okay, tens.
So if you do the math on the 12 people and you do the math on 100K a year, you can sort of get, you can make some educated guesses. But
are you guys, and you're bootstrapped, right? So obviously you have to operate cash flow positive unless you're sinking money in yourself.
So I mean, one of my favorite reasons to bootstrap is that you operate your business like a business from day one. Yeah. And having been in situations where you wean yourself off of capital,
it sucks.
That's a painful process. And the truth of the matter is that, I mean, we work in a very, being in a software business and typically billing up front allows us to get the cash flow and use that cash flow for growth up front. So in that sense, we're in a pretty favorable position. But we obviously, growing out of cash flow means we manage cash very carefully.
Yep. No, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And look, you said you're in the tens. I mean, you can take a minimum of just say 10, right? Multiply times, I guess you said 100 grand a year. That's, what is that monthly? $8,300. So you guys you're probably flirting with, or you're already past that $1 million ARR mark. So that's a great target to beat by.
Yep.
Tell me more about other economics related to a customer. So you have to be really careful about managing your payback period on CAC, because you can't have a big gap there. Otherwise you lose money. What do you like to keep your payback period at?
So we don't measure, we don't have any outbound marketing. And we have a sales, which I didn't mention. We also have a single salesperson in Connecticut, and two of the founders do heavy sales. And so because the two founders are effectively fixed costs, we don't really evaluate customer acquisition costs, because marketing cost is effectively zero, and 2/3 of the sales cost is fixed.
So how do you measure things then, like what you're willing to spend on acquisition? Like, do you hire, by the way, I'm talking fully weighted CAC. So typically you would take all your marketing and sales salaries included in that, right? But you're saying it's fixed. I get it. They're co-founders. But how do you make a decision when you go hire a new customer? I mean, a new sales rep?
Yeah. So we are taken from the days of running divisions in large companies. We have taken some of the things that work, and some of the things really do work from large companies. Many things do not, but many things do. And two of the things that we are religious about is managing our cash flow on a biweekly basis, and managing to a quarterly and an annual plan. And if something is off plan, we adjust the plan. But so that is basically what tells us what cash we have to invest. And when we invest, we typically think in terms of product, the underlying thing that's differentiated, that delivers value to clients, and then go to market, which is things like sales and marketing that help bring that, sort of deliver it to new clients.
Have you lost any customers that started paying?
Yeah. So this is something we're super proud of. We have exactly. All right. So if you're going to push me, there's one client that we've lost.
Come on, Jay. You know me. Of course I'm going to push you.
But it's almost zero, because in this case, they spun down all marketing. Okay. And they hope to spin it back up again at some point. So if that actually happens in 2018, we'll be at zero lost customers. Okay. At this very moment, we're at one.
That's good. That's good. So okay. We'll call it less than 1% or less than 10% logo churn annually. And then what about?
Well, that's ever.
Ever. Okay, got it. So
Not annually.
We'll call it less than 5% then annually, right? You've been around for 4 years. revenue expansion. Do you what are the different pricing kind of axes you use to drive someone to go from $100 or $100,000 contract value in year one to, $150 in year two?
Yeah. Okay. So we have not been very aggressive at trying to raise prices on existing clients, and we don't have very much variability in our contracts. We do that because when we sell on the other side of the table at large companies, it's really hard to budget if you have a lot of variability. Like imagine your site gets a lot of visits one month and all of a sudden your bill is higher than you budgeted for. That's really tough to budget for. And so we've maybe gone to the other extreme where we're basically like, look, this is fixed cost. And we're not going to talk about pricing until the next contract is up.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. But you're mostly on annual contracts, so you have an opportunity once every 12 months.
Yeah, once every 12 months we can reevaluate.
That's good.
We haven't been super aggressive about that because in the early days we're okay leaving some value on the table and just creating value because that value is part of how we grow as well. When people start recommending the amazing value they're getting from us. And so is it super important to capture every dollar of revenue or maybe have this perception and halo of being one of the best investments that companies do?
What does the growth rate look like right now year over year?
It's actually just looking at it because we're in December, so we're basically know where we are. And we are above a 330% CAGR.
Okay, and break that down for folks in the audience that might not understand that.
So basically, if you look at multiple years over, if you're looking at growth rates over multiple years and taking into account compounding, it's over 300% a year.
And then give it to us just over the last 12 months in terms of top line revenue.
We've doubled in the last 12 months.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I mean, that's really effective. So so you call it somewhere between kind of 40 and 60-ish 12 months ago. Now somewhere between, double those numbers. So 80, 120. That's good. Great growth for a bootstrapped company. Good stuff.
And we're basically limited. We don't have external capital. We obviously can grow faster than that if we did, but the trade-off just isn't worth it in our mind.
That's right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book, Jeremy?
I don't read business books. I think that business is pretty straightforward. It's basically delivering value, creating a differentiated product that's from a differentiated product, worldview, and then executing well, listening to customers, executing well. And not to say that business books wouldn't expand my perspective, but I'm just focused on that.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
I don't study CEOs either. I do respect Elon Musk quite a bit. I like the way he makes a lot of incremental improvements like we do by looking at things creatively. And when you do that, in aggregate, you've got a very different company. And so despite the fact we're not thinking anywhere nearly as large as him, the approach is very similar.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool?
There has been no tool that's changed our business more than Google Docs, Google Sheets and Docs. Go ahead.
No, how do you do things like payroll management, all that with a remote team?
Oh, yeah, we have, we use many web apps. In that case, we use QuickBooks.
Okay, got it.
And Trinet. But in terms of transforming a business, it's a far worse product, yet the collaboration wins. It makes it such that you willingly work with a far worse product just because of collaboration.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I strive or aspire for 8, but it doesn't usually happen.
Okay.
After a handful of days of 5 or 6, then I'll crash and get the full amount.
And what's your situation? Married, single, you have kids?
2 kids, married.
It's exciting. And how old are you?
I'm 42.
42.
Almost 42 in a few months.
Good stuff. Last question. Take us back 22 years. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Okay, so I have the important thing is being really good at what you do. And to be really good at what you do, you got to like it. And so the earlier people find out what really gets them out of bed, then they could start looking for the intersection of how to actually turn that into a career. And a lot of people that I mentor are really focused on things outside of the thing that gets them out of bed. And what inevitably winds up happening is they struggle. And so it's tough because there's not always an intersection or an easy intersection of finding what you love and the getting paid well for it. But the earlier you focus on that, the better.
There you guys have it from Jeremy. The
All right.
earlier you find what you love, the more success you'll have. He launched his company, Pulse Insights, back in 2013 after a lot of experience in corporate. It's bootstrapped, which I love. They're a remote team of 12 people, again, focused on Pulse Insights, cloud software for really innovative enterprise customers. They're working with over 10 currently. They've grown from around 40-ish grand a month in MR just 12 months ago in December 2016 to double that here in 2017. Super healthy economics because they have to manage cash. They have no, they have no $10 million sitting around. So hyper effective business, Jeremy. Thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you. Bye.